Hello class, welcome to week 10, and so I appreciate your patience with me right now. I do think in this class I've mainly kept up with getting most of your work graded. There are a few of you that I haven't got to yet, but we're mainly caught up. And I wanted to I was hoping to find a time that I could meet with folks in person, but I think this is not going to be the case. It's been a very busy trip here. In Modesto, I have to say that this is the first time I've seen sun in a while. I don't know if you can tell, I got a little sunburn. Just riding with my mom and husband around town doing errands for things we need to do. So, in any case, I'm a little tired, but I'm been up with your work. So, I want to just address a few things just from what's going on in our work. This is getting closer and closer to the end, and I know that a lot of you also have other classes with other big exams. And sometimes I can tell when the work quality is going down, and just like me, you can tell probably the energy in my voice is a little bit lower than usual. We all have unforeseen things that happen, and it makes it hard to keep up work, whether you're the professor or the student. But I want to just say a few things that I really want to address with what I saw. For instance, the last section. In some of the comments and some of the papers, we had the topic of Christianity, and a lot of you were telling your personal stories and you weren't demonstrating knowledge of the lectures or the textbook. And so this is kind of what I want to remind you, because I will be honest, I'm seeing a little bit of a downgrade in some of the quality of some of the work that other professors would not tolerate at all, and I do, and I'm just saying that to be real, right? Which is this. Here's the safe thing to remember. When you do an assignment, the assignment should always reflect strongly that you're bringing up content from the material covered. So personal stories or other kind of added things from the outside is fine, but I want to see you proving to me that you're actually looking at the material. I've had some of you, I gave full points for your discussions, and some of the papers and some of the material that I got didn't really convince me that you actually watched the lectures. And if you did, so I'm not saying that you didn't, but I'm saying that that's normally an F in a college assignment. So that's what you want. I'm trying to help you guys, stay on top of things for a college setting. So that's always the important thing. All the assignments are really meant for you to reflect from yourself proof that you are actually engaged with the material that we've covered. Okay, I want you to keep that in mind, because maybe as we get to the end here, if I see a lot of this, I'm going to start really cracking down on this, because I need to help you, keep you guys on board for moving forward in the college experience as well. I can't just take it easy on you in that regard. So that's something I want you to keep in mind. So I'm not, that's all. It's my constructive criticism to say on that. Having said that, now, we're also. I understand that was a little bit more of a sensitive subject, and it was personal. Now we're moving into Islam, also the same thing. And so I've already graded some notes. You guys did some great note taking on this topic. The few discussion posts that I've seen are really great, and I think you'll enjoy this and find this informative. And I just want to add a little something on the topic of Islam, because it's something that I study so much. At the end, I give you some lectures by a man named Dr. Brown. he is an academic professor, and he talks about Sharia. Now, I read his book on hadiths. It's one of the best, maybe the only academic book that I know that is just amazing. But he's a kind of a controversial character. He's actually a very conservative Muslim. He converted, I'm just pointing out, if you Googled him and you researched him, he's like really, he's just very conservative in a way that he, you know, if you want to take the time to research him, you can see what I mean. Here's my whole point, though. You know, as I always remind you guys when I'm giving you information from documentary clips or from anybody else, I'm not like promoting them wholesale. I think they say something that is of value to contribute to the discussion of the class. His book I highly recommend if you're interested on the topic of hadiths. That doesn't mean that I always agree with all of his ideas about the world. Okay, and that's kind of what I'm trying to say. And on the topic of Sharia, what he said was true, but it's a little bit complicated. It can be a little bit more complex than the way that he portrayed it. So, in Sharia law, when it's implemented by government, there are what's called hudud laws that are corporal punishment. It's in the Bible, and we used to have more of those here in the United States, many other countries. The Western world has evolved away from corporal punishments. The idea of chopping off someone's hand for stealing. Some American conservatives, I've heard, kind of admire that kind of, the good old days when kids got spankings and, when you could really do a number on a criminal, hangings and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that that's all conservatives, but I'm just saying I've met some that like that. The topic of corporal punishment for crimes, that's been a norm in the world, and we've been more and more steering away from that in the Western world. Sharia law does, promote that idea of corporal punishment for thievery and things like, adultery. Now, but what I did like what he said, and what I want to point out is that just as he compared it to the Constitution, that was a good illustration. People always say, well, whatever, what the Founding Fathers said. Well, the Founding Fathers said a lot of things. There's a lot. It's not as clear. You can be really into the Founding Fathers, into U.S. history, and the Constitution. I am. But I know a lot of people who are as educated as me and look at it in a very different way, an extremely different way. And we would say that we are into the same topic and we value the Constitution. So Sharia, it's a law. And as we know in law, laws are debated and people pick and choose, when it comes to law. And so I think the real essence that we want to discuss with that, you can look on YouTube and a lot of things that talk about the evils of Sharia. They talk about ISIS applying Sharia, Boko Haram, in Nigeria, and how they apply Sharia. And so for Americans, that's what they're focused on. So that's what he was kind of addressing. And the fact of the matter is, if you're a Muslim, of course you believe in Sharia because it means it's God's way. So they're going to say yes. Every Muslim is most likely going to say that they believe in Sharia law. Does that mean that they want to implement it politically? If they do, into what degree? And so that's just the kind of point that I thought I would bring out. And again, in the lectures we talk about jihad just meaning struggle, as well, another word that can imply something to the effect of a holy war, but it's not the word. It doesn't mean holy war, it means struggle. And you struggle in the cause of Islam. And that can mean, not cheating on your wife by striving to control to struggle to control your natural urges. And in some cases, some believe that it means struggling in the cause militarily, which can end up being labeled terrorism, right? So, in any case, I'm hoping that you'll find this informative and you'll be able to walk away and just realize that, as we've seen with all of our religious systems, we can see negative things and we can see positive things. And that's it. So, if you have any other questions, I know I've been extra busy. I do have to take a drive back to Portland on Thursday. By this weekend, I should be really kind of settled in. But please still try to contact me if you need anything or have any questions. All right. And everybody, peace be upon you. and we'll be in touch.